Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
If the WNBA and the Players Union can actually get an agreement signed, a new CBA, before the deadline of March 10th, for me, one of the most fun, most exciting parts of this upcoming season is going to be this insane free agency period. Because I don't know a league that has had anything like what the WNBA is about to have. When you get hardcore fans who get into things with free agency about who could be on the roster, and they start thinking and dreaming up who can be added and who can be traded and how this can put together a championship team in their city. You've got the WNBA where, again, setting aside a couple of players and the rookie contracts, an entire league that is a free agent. It is absolutely insane, and it's going to be done in a shorter period than usual as well. Again, the whole musical chairs things. How are you going to figure out your roster? How do you tell a free agent, it's like, hey, come here, but hey, by the way, we only know for sure about 4 players that we have under contract. We don't know what else we're going to have. And then, so you get the back channels of, hey, are you going to go sign here? Because if you sign here, I'm going to sign there as well. And it's going to be absolutely crazy. And we'll get to talk about who is going where, who we want to see, what our dream roster is. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Deep breath on my part. And what triggered this? You may have seen this already. It's been a crazy week. Again, where I am, got absolutely wrecked with yet another snowstorm about 2 days after I got faked out by a beautiful early spring day. Thought spring was around the corner, but no, we got whacked with snow yet again. So, anyway, as you can see here, WNBA free agents low key. Indiana comment stirs fever buzz. One WNBA free agent may not mind calling Indianapolis home, and this is a very, very good player. Even with CBA negotiations unresolved and league business on hold, the Indiana Fever can't afford to stand still ahead of the 2026 season. That's because the franchise will face rapid decisions upon the eventual start of the offseason. I think almost all teams will. Now, I'm sure maybe there are teams with more. I didn't look ahead of time. Let me know in the comments. So I'm curious with teams like the Mystics, what their situation is like, because that is a younger team. Maybe they have more players under contract, but I think most teams are going to be in difficult situations where they've got to put together who they're likely to be able to re-sign, that they want to re-sign, who they want to go after in free agency, who they're likely to be able to sign in free agency, and all those things. And of course, again, then how all of those players fit together on a roster that makes up a winning basketball team, right? It's not all about just getting all-stars, right? It's getting players in specific positions and specific roles. One thing I would love to see with the Indiana Fever would be, for example, a stretch four. A stretch four, someone who can stretch the court, who can run a little bit, who can also defend and rebound in the interior, but can hit the occasional three. I think that would be a huge difference. In a way, kind of what we thought Dewana Bonner might bring to the Indiana Fever. We know how that turned out. So, you get excited about things, you get your hopes up, and it doesn't always work out. So, do I expect they'll probably bring back some players from last year? Yeah, I think so. But I also think you're going to see some massive changes. And again, don't forget, those players may get opportunities elsewhere, right? You may get someone like Ari McDonald. She's hurt, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out from her. But Odyssey Sims, maybe she'll get a chance to start somewhere else, right? So she goes sign somewhere else instead of coming back to the Fever. So I know a lot of Fever Fever fans with the way the season ended last year, like, hey, let's run it back. But that's not always possible and not always the best thing for a team. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's dig into this. You may have know this by now, but this is Azora Stevens, who is a very, very good basketball player, plays for the Los Angeles Sparks. At least she did, right? We'll see how this all goes. She's played along two members of the Fever throughout all of Unrivaled, Lexi Hull with Rose, and now she's on High BC, where she's played with Kelsey Mitchell as well. And she was asked a question. Here we go. Comment on Indianapolis causes intrigue. Stevens being added to the Fever's potent offense would raise the bar even higher for Indiana. Yeah, that's what I said. Size and ability to space the floor, right? This is that stretch four that I'm talking about that I think Azora Stevens could bring to the team. And here we go. We'll go down here a little bit. There was a comment in the post asking, so what do you think of Indy? And her response and interacting with the question led to comment back saying, where she said, nice little city, low key. And of course, was responded more nice if you played in it low key. But a lot of people, and hey, this is again the fun of being fandom. You see something like that, and oh my God, she might want to play in Indy. We could sign her. She's going to be a free agent like everyone else in the league. And then you start thinking of how does this fit into the roster? What does this mean for the team? And you get excited. It's fun to do this. I mean, look, what I'm talking about here is one of the reasons that fantasy sports have gotten so popular because you get to kind of do this yourself. Now, it's not the first time Stevens has interacted with Fever fans. She previously acknowledged fans that made it clear they want her to play for Indiana, dropping eye emoji replies in response. Of course, the CBA delay has led to uncertainty all around, what the Fever front office ultimately decide to do remains to be seen, but many Fever fans clearly see Stevens as a fit for what the team wants to accomplish. Yeah, I would agree that she would probably be. Now, again, we don't know how it rounds out, but with the players who we know are returning, which I guess technically might only be two, right? Aaliyah and Caitlin. Kelsey Mitchell's a free agent. Michaela Timpson, again, she's under a rookie contract, but that doesn't necessarily mean more likely they protect her. Again, it's going to depend on how it works out with the expansion draft and free agents. And Lexi Hall's restricted free agent, which means the Fever can keep her if they really, really want to, but it's also possible she gets such an offer from somewhere else that the Fever are like, with everything else we're doing, we can't afford to pay Lexi Hull that much money. So it's basically Caitlin and Aaliyah, as crazy as that sounds, and we'll see how the rest of it goes. As you can see here, she had quite a year in 2025, played all 44 games, almost 13 points a game, 8 rebounds, couple of assists, almost 48% from the field, 38% from three, almost 80% from the line, a EFG of over 56%. And by the way, she is 6'6". She is a forward center. The way she plays, if you watch and those numbers I just gave you, she could easily play as the forward, the stretch four next to Aaliyah Boston. That would be a very, very formidable 1-2 punch in the interior, but offensively that can also stretch. Because we know Aaliyah can be an effective part of the running game as well. We've talked about that. I've talked about that in multiple videos, especially the way she can trail and coming down the lane and how good she is in that situation. So, I mean, you look at a lineup with then that three with Lexi Hull and or Sophie Cunningham, Michaela Timpson coming off the bench. I'm just thinking of the players who are maybe more likely to be there. Caitlin and Kelsey in the backcourt again. Casey, did I say Casey? Caitlin? What am I? Caitlin. Why did I say Casey? Who am I thinking? Anyway, Caitlin. Because of Kelsey, I combined them. I get it. Caitlin, Kelsey, Azora, Aaliyah. I don't know who starts, Sophie or Lexi, but that's pretty good right there. Like that right there, just signing Azora Stevens, bringing those players back that I just mentioned. That's a team that can compete with anyone, and that is a team that can run as well. Run, rebound, shoot the three. Aaliyah Boston shoots the three well enough that you're talking about a starting five that can run and that can space the floor enough where they can all shoot the three. It's a good rebounding team. It's a solid defensive team as well, more so than people realize. Just signing Azora Stevens and then filling out the roster with the key subs off the bench, go a long way for the Indiana Fever. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, let me know who you're thinking about in terms of other players that would be likely and be a good fit. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it. Go have the day you deserve. Shout out to the 19. I will talk to y'all later.